Good morning, welcome to another video. This week's video is going to see me go down to London. I'm going to use my new Olympus, I'll talk to you about that in a second, to photograph some nightscapes using live composite, which is going to be really interesting. So I'm going to get on the train very shortly and travel on down. But I borrowed this Olympus kit from Olympus. I've got it for 45 days, pretty much a month and a half, which is absolutely fantastic and works really well. Thanks very much to Claire for sorting it all out for me. I basically emailed her and said, look, can I borrow some kit? I'm thinking of buying it. And I've got the OM1 Mark II, I've got the 18 to 35 f2.8, the 12 to 40 because I'm not sure whether mine is working properly, and the lovely 40 to 150, and also a 2x converter. So the idea of the next few vlogs is that I'm going to be shooting the Olympus for cityscapes. I'm going to do some wildlife, and I'm also on Friday, today's Tuesday, I'm going to be going up to Scotland to photograph some landscapes with it, and looking forward to shooting several locations with that to see what it would be like should I choose to switch to it for landscapes, which is what I do most of. I'm going to be going in the near future to Norway, Lofoten, trip of a lifetime maybe, may go back there again, but if I don't want to go all the way to Lofoten, slip on some ice, smash the Nikon and have no backup. So I have a choice really. I could, if I wanted to, buy a Z6 III, something like that, and just stick with the Nikon system. I could buy a Z8 and upgrade. But the reason I think I might go Olympus is because I do quite fancy doing some wildlife photography. And that's why I've got the 40 to 150, because the focal length in a 35mm terms is doubled, so that's an 80 to 300, and with the 2x zoom I've actually got 80 to 600mm on that setup, which is really useful. So might go to a reservoir and try and shoot some birds as well to see how that performs, because I'd like to shoot wildlife, I'd like to shoot macro, and the Olympus is far better than the Nikon system for macro. I've done a video of that, I'll link it below. That's insects, that is. For mushrooms and fungi, the Z7 is just as good. The problem with wildlife in the Z7 II, it doesn't focus very well, doesn't keep up. So the Olympus has got better autofocusing. Yeah, I know, don't tell me in the comments that the Z9 is better or the Z8's better or the Canon, I don't know. Just the Olympus is better than the Z7, and it's probably going to be good enough for what I want. But it also does other things. So for instance, live composite. And live composite is what we're going to try out today. Come with me and we go down to London and try this out.
Said that you've been hurt one too many times before. Ended up staring in the bathroom mirror, crying on your bedroom floor. Baby, you can take my word, haven't gotta hurt no more. Things about to get much better. I wanna make this forever. I wanna make this forever.
Okay, so the shot I want to get is actually to your left, down the middle of this aisle. Get the camera completely straight, lined up with some balls. People either side blurred. Nice background, lots of pools, and the London skyline. I've taken some pictures already, handheld, which I find quite odd, having used a tripod for a long while and just getting used to the Olympus system as well. I've realised that actually the lens collar when you focus can flick it into manual if you're not careful, but I'm getting there, we're okay with it. Let's do this picture here, but while I'm doing that, let me show you the ones I've just taken. So these are handheld.
Going in circles on a one-way street, run until your feet get sore. Well, I guess you haven't heard, you've been get around no more. Things are about to get much better, so I wanna make this forever. I wanna make this forever.
That's a Tate Modern behind us, by the way. Yeah, that works really well. I'm just waiting now for the light to drop a little bit. We get sunset conditions, and what is great about London is all these buildings light up and look wonderful, which is where we're going to use live composite later on. Probably from just down the walkway here, so going to hang around for a while. Lovely evening, beautiful. Here come these images now. See what you think.
Said that you felt lost 100 times before. Going in circles on a one-way street, run until your feet get sore. Well, I guess you haven't heard, you've been get around no more. Things are about to get much better, so I wanna make this forever.
So it's now dark, and we'll just flick around and show you. Look at that here. Look at that. Some pools. Magnificent.
I wanna make this forever. I wanna make this
And now we come to the main event. This is the reason I want to come down to London. I want to do a live composite, and I have shot one before of St Paul's, but this one is going to be the square mile. The camera's just getting ready. It's now shot, so I've just done a test exposure, and it's now going to take a series of exposures, and he's going to keep taking pictures until everything is blended together. 20-second exposures, series of them, and what's great about live composite with the Olympus is that nothing will burn out. So anything that goes down the river, anything that flies over the top, anything that lights up, and actually reflections in the water, straight down, it's going to look really good. Already got me just around. So that's the first exposure, and those highlights will not get any brighter than that, and you can see this lovely smooth water. That's going to smooth out even better. The clouds up above are going to blur as well. It's going to look just love this camera at the moment, really enjoying it.
said that you've been hurt one too many times before. Ended up staring in the bathroom mirror, crying on your bedroom floor. Baby, you can take.
Alright, here comes the next one. So I'll focus this up. We've got 9 seconds. Sorry, F9. And all I need to do now is press the button once. It's now going to do a test exposure. It's going to layer everything on top of this one. It's going to use that as for noise reduction, I would imagine. There's a bit of noise reduction happens at the end. So here we go. It's just doing that. So the first press is to lay a background exposure. Now we're ready. Now we press it, and now the exposure begins. Now nothing's appearing on the screen because each exposure is 20 seconds. So until we get to 20 seconds, we won't see anything. But that's what it's going to look like. Look at that. Absolutely wonderful. St Paul's looking great. Here we go, the first exposure then. And there it is. Look at that. And now anything that's lighter than that appears in the picture will show up. Nothing else will. And that will be great. It's going to smooth all that water out. Those lovely colours. Going to look fantastic.
Said that you've been hurt one too many times before. Ended up staring in the bathroom mirror, crying on your bedroom floor. Baby, you can take my word. You haven't gotta hurt no more. Things about to get much better. I wanna make this forever. I wanna make this forever.
Here we are at the shot I want to get tonight with the live composite on the Olympus. Thanks Lee Pellin for your brilliant directions. Setting up on this walkway, I've got a light that's out there, so I'm not going to use that. There is a light that's kind of bright. I'd like to get both of them out of the way, but if you go any lower, there's a fence, which you can't really see over, I don't think. So I'm going to shoot one from here anyway. I'm just going to adjust the composition. What I'm going to do is swap the 8 to 25mm over for probably the 40 to 150, so I can get a telephoto shot in there. And the idea of the shot is Battersea power station, and then the live composite is going to have the trains making some trails in the foreground, which hopefully will be really, really nice because it's a busy station. So let me get set up and I'll talk you through the shot. Right, I'm just going to put this tripod mount, which is actually, I'm using the Manfrotto system today. I'm just to put it onto this collar to balance the lens, just to make sure that it's not putting any strain on the mount. So we tighten that up like that. That flicks out. That goes in. And then what I always do is make sure that that's firmly fixed. The last thing I want to do is have it rolling down here. Right, so we're all set up here for live composite. What you do to set the shutter speed is you press the menu. I've got 15 seconds, which is going to be about right. And what will happen now is I'm going to adjust the aperture until the exposure is correct, which is about f9, f8 actually, which is perfect. Which is going to be sort of f16 in full frame terms. I've got the power station top right. I left a little bit of space here at the bottom, just to make sure that I get the trains in. Next thing I'm going to do is just focus up. So I'm going to use this focus peeping, and that is spot on. I like to use red focus peeping, it works really, really well. And now what I need to do is take one picture. That's going to be the base image that it's going to use, and it's going to lay all the others on top. So what in essence it's doing is a series of exposures which is blending together. You can do that in Photoshop, but when you've got one of these, you can just leave it to run and it will do all these trails. So here we go. It's ready to go now. I've got a train coming already. So I'm going to give this now half an hour or so, but what I'll be able to do is see it building up on the back of this camera. And when I've got enough trails going through of the trains, I'll press the shutter again and it will stop. So I can see that building up. And as the 15 seconds, which are about to click over again, you can just see how that's now made that light trail even bigger. So I just need some trains to appear going the other way. In fact, there goes one now. And we will have some nice trails in the front of this. There's nothing in the sheds, but sometimes there's trains in those sheds over there, which would actually look quite nice, but you can't have everything.
I wanna make this forever.
So thanks ever so much for watching. I hope you've enjoyed this. Part one of the Olympus test. And next time you see me, we're going to be doing some wildlife. I'm hoping to photograph some red squirrels up in the Lake District. So join me for that next week, 6 o'clock on Sunday. If you haven't subscribed, think about doing so that you can keep up with all of that and find out what I really think about the Olympus and what I do in the end, whether I actually buy one or not. Are you impressed with it today? Okay, thanks so much for watching. Take care. Bye-bye.
wanna make this forever.